everyone, I'm David. This is Margot. We're the co-founders of Hostfully. Now, there's a problem in the alternative lodging industry. That's like HomeAway and Airbnb, and that's providing a consistent 5-star hospitality experience. In a hotel, you know what you're getting. There's the concierge, there's the brochures in the lobby, there's the travel magazine in every hotel room, and there's the booklet of information about the hotel itself. In an alternative lodging accommodation, it's very unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get. There might be a binder with some takeout menus. There might be a piece of paper with the Wi-Fi code. There might be the host. There might not be. They're oftentimes hard to reach, especially when you need them the most. Well, I'm a short-term rental host. I love welcoming people into my home, but I don't have the resources of a hotel, and it can get exhausting. Guess what? There's over 10 million people like me, including our other co-founders. We're a seasoned team of executives. We've run successful startups before, and we've also been at Apple and Google. We have an all-star advisory board as well, including the former president of Expedia. The alternative lodging industry is growing like gangbusters. It's already over $100 billion, growing to $300 billion in the next 10 years. Contrary to popular belief, Airbnb is 5% of that space. HomeAway is 10% of that space. There's the other 85% is the Wild West. There is Stayzilla, the Airbnb of India. There's Tujia, the Airbnb of China. They've already raised over $450 million. And as this grows, so grows the ecosystem of companies offering services to hosts and to guests, including Tripping.com. I'm looking at you, Jen, if you're here. So the tourism industry, that's $4 trillion. And $50 billion is spent specifically on commissions and marketing trying to get the alternative lodging tourist. The host is the last mile to that tourist, and they have incredible influence over their buying decisions. And as such, we are the best sales channel to connect businesses to this growing niche of tourists.
And that's because we're going to be the #1 application that all these tourists are using while they are spending money on their vacation. We're building a platform for hosts to be able to share beautiful, personalized guidebooks that include important information about the listing, like how to check in and check out and what the Wi-Fi code is, everybody's question, with the most important recommendations about the local place that they are. So what's that local coffee shop that makes staying in that neighborhood really special? Our application is responsive web, so it looks great on mobile and it works great on desktop, and we just did our soft launch a few weeks ago. We started the company in October. Well, just backing up a second, we've got a huge market out there. We've got a lot of disruption happening. We've got a team that can execute, and we're really nailing it. We started the company in October, and we just did our soft launch at the end of April. We have over 100 guidebooks on the platform today, over 1,000 recommendations, and we also have a few vacation rental management companies that are willing to pay $2,000 a year for the service. So we are Hostfully. And we're raising seed round. It's an $800,000 convertible note with a $5 million cap and a 20% discount. We have 6 angels on board. We have $100,000 in the bank, and we're still going. So we're Hostfully.
Make the most of every stay.
Boom.
Thanks.
Thank you. Great presentation. All right, judges, this should be easy. Take it away.
On the revenue side, do you also get a piece of the action when people do activities?
Yes. Yeah. So I didn't talk about that because it's 3 minutes. So our primary revenue model right now is affiliate commission through our platform. We are tied in with some partners that are aggregating tours from around the world. So we take a piece of the revenue when a tourist books through our host guidebook. And we have that in place today, and we are seeing purchases.
And not just tours and activities, but also open table reservations and ground transportation from the airport. That's a very common question. How do I get the airport from there? So we plug in some ground transportation options. There's also the vacation rental market space. Professionals that have 50 listings, 500 listings, and there's a subscription product that we have for them.
So if the affiliate marketing you expect to be the primary driver of revenue, if I understood that right, would it make sense just to give this away to homeowners to drive growth?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's free. So our product is free for your first guidebook, and then above that, we're going to play with pricing. For people who list like anywhere between 3 and 10 properties, they might be willing to pay $5 or $10 a month. So there's sort of there's the free segment, there's the willingness to pay tied to $10 a month, and then there's also like an enterprise level subscription.
So for the lazy homeowner that's in a neighborhood that's very active with people that are sharing their homes, Do you give them access to everyone else's recommendations, sort of a shared library, so that they don't have to really do much themselves?
Yeah, so we are going to play around with that. One of the things that we think could migrate someone from a free to a paid subscription is if when they sign up, we actually give them the guidebook that's already made from other host content. And we're seeing some really great content come onto our platform already, even with 100 guidebooks, where we think we can monetize that. So that is the plan, and we're just trying to figure out in which segment is it most meaningful and does it make sense for our business.
And is this all something that's done digitally, or is there a physical printed book or printed materials that the host gets at their house? Like, how do you actually make sure that the recipient, the guest, is actually using it?
Yeah, we did a lot of market studies, and we found that print is a very important part of the experience for a guest, especially if you're traveling internationally and your phone doesn't work, or if you're tired and you just can't find it online. So print is out of the gate as a priority for our product. Today, you can print the guidebook, and we're making sure that that is a beautiful experience. In the long run, you could have a really high-quality, glossy guidebook that you could get printed if your content isn't changing very much, but we're not sure how much hosts are going to be changing their content, and that might make sense, it might not for other hosts. So,
What is the danger in services like Pillow and the other ones, just trying to duplicate this instead of working with you?
Yeah. Sure. So Pillow is a vacation rental management company. They are one of the few vacation rental management companies that have been funded. A lot of the other ones are low tech. So there might be one or two that want to do the technology and do it in-house themselves, but the large majority of the vacation rental management space, that's a great partner for us. We've already been in talks with a bunch. We have a couple that have signed up, and they're willing to pay over $2,000 a month for this.
$2,000 a year.
$2,000 a year for this. So we're excited to tap into that space, and there might be a few that do it on their own, but most won't.
Yeah.
And how do you think about Airbnb? We're investors, full disclosure, but they've invested a lot and talked a lot about building trips experiences and trying to make sure their guests have a great experience. You know, do they see you as a value-added service or a space they're trying to get into as well?
Yeah, we love what they're promoting right now with the new Live There campaign, because that's what we're about, having those local, off-the-beaten-path experiences. They have a very basic guidebook in place, as does HomeAway, a few other platforms, and the focus groups we've done with both the hosts and the guests, the hosts aren't using it that much. It's not being promoted, and the guests use Airbnb and HomeAway like Expedia. They use it to book their reservation, and once they get there, they're not going back to the site. Additionally, as I mentioned earlier, Airbnb is actually only 5% of the space, so even if they had an amazing thing, there's still these offline rentals and these other platforms around the world. It's a huge market. And finally, many hosts list on multiple platforms, so they don't want to have to manage a guidebook on Airbnb and on HomeAway, and then if they have a friend from college, they need something else, they want something that they can own.
What is your biggest challenge? Is it
Speed.
what does that mean? More partnerships? More awareness. What is it?
Yeah, it's speed. I mean, we started the company in October, and we launched at the end of April publicly, and we've just been like itching to get this thing going. Like, we see time as our worst enemy in this market because it's a land grab right now. There's a lot of moving parts, and we think that by getting this really strategic customer, we can find ways to effectively monetize. And so we're really excited to grow fast, and that's what we're focused on right now. So I know that sounds very vague, but honestly, there's enough moving parts where we're not worried about one player or another. We see a lot of players that we showed on those slides as partners with us, not necessarily as competitors. And there are a few early stage startups, but none of the big players are going head to head with us right now.
Great. Good job, guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Hostfully.